Hey, dig those heels in.
Alright, lean way down there.
Alright, ready, buddy?
Dig those heels tight.
Here we go.
Welcome back to the channel, guys.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Walker Farm Fam. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, Ransom is coming out of retirement. You ready for this?
Yep.
You gonna tell them what you're gonna do later?
Ride sheep.
Mutton busting. Ransom's riding sheep. For the most part, he has been too old because a lot of times they're age-based. You gotta be what, 6 years old? Is the oldest?
Yeah.
But this one has a weight requirement, 60 pounds or less. How much do you weigh?
Like 49 or 50.
About 50 pounds. So Ransom meets the weight requirement. All right, the cowboy has his shaps on. So these are actually custom shaps that we got made for Ranger whenever Ranger was little. And that's why it says RW. But guess who else is RW?
Me.
That's right. So they got put to work again, didn't they?
Yep.
So Ranger used to ride sheep. Now Ransom's riding sheep. We actually have Mazzy a pair of shaps too made too. Did you know that?
No.
And she does not ride sheep. We're looking forward to this. We are about ready to head that way, but we got started earlier today. Got a lot of things done, didn't we?
Yep.
Ranger did a little bit of work for one of his first jobs. Ransom and I got some corn planted in the garden.
Yep.
And had all kinds of fun. So you guys take a look at what we did today right now. Before Ranger and I take off to pegs, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the chicks. They are growing every day, so I want to do an update as often as possible. So I filled up both of their waters, filled up their feed over here. They also have a feed over there. But look how big they're getting. All 53 are doing good. They're healthy. The weather's been nice. We're going to get some rain this weekend, but I don't think it's anything that will hurt these guys because, well, they're inside. This brooder is really nice. There's Cassie's sign. She only wanted 3 chickens, but it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So, all of them doing good, all different kinds. Barnyard mix, but there's some purebreds in there too. I think this one's my favorite right there, my personal favorite. There she goes. They start climbing on each other's back. So I'm going to get out of here. We're going to load up the lawnmower and head out. So Ranger loaded up the lawnmower. He wants to start doing some work to earn some money. And you're going to vlog about it, Ranger?
Yeah.
Want to tell him your channel's name?
Ranger's Life.
Ranger's Life on YouTube. How many subscribers do you have?
I don't know.
How many do you want?
A lot.
A lot. So he said he's going to be vlogging this summer about the different work he does to earn money. So if you guys want to check it out, go to Ranger's Life and subscribe. So we made it over to the house. This is actually going to be a job that Ranger is doing more or less for his grandparents. So he wants to do some mowing this summer, and we've talked about the different things that he could do with that. But you have to start somewhere, and getting practice in, especially on a lot that you've never been on before, because when you mow, that's what happens a lot. So what Ranger and I are going to do is walk around. We'll show you a quick before. But we're going to walk around and try to spot any type of hazards, meaning hazards to the mower. And we're going to walk around all around the front yard. While Ranger cuts the front, I'm going to load some wood in the back. And then whenever he's done up here, then I'll move the truck up here and he can go mow in the back. But there's just things that we have to walk around and talk about. You know, if there's things like this, stumps, you got to walk around and see how close can you get to it. But it's a good age. Ranger's 13 years old, and it's time for him to start learning a little bit of responsibility. And of course, he's at the age that he wants a job. He wants to earn a little bit of money. And this is just something that kids have been doing for years and years. You get a lawnmower, you go through your neighborhood, you try to mow grass for people. But when you live in the country like we do, it's not really an option just to go door to door because we don't have neighbors to do that with. So we're gonna get creative though. Ranger will be sharing over on his channel. So like he said earlier, Ranger's Life, go check it out. All right, Ranger's working, earning some money, and he'll do a good job. So I don't expect everything to go perfectly. I know he's learning, and anytime you're learning, there's gonna be mistakes, and that's okay, because I would rather him make mistakes now when I'm with him, when I can help him, than by himself later on. So that's what he's doing though. Gonna earn a little bit of money, and I'm gonna load up some wood. So I have this wood back here. Now I got some ticks. I went ahead and cut all these trees, piled brush. As soon as we get a day that's not windy, I'm gonna burn all this. The grass is green enough, but the wind is just ridiculous today. So I'm gonna wait until we get a nice calm day. But I'm gonna go ahead and load up this pile of wood while Ranger's mowing. So we're gonna do a little bit of YouTube magic right here. Let's go, ready? 3, 2, 1. And just like that, all the wood is loaded up and ready to go to the house. So I tried to keep what I thought would be decent firewood, and we got a little jag right there. But I did want to show you one limb I found. I thought this was pretty cool. Look how this limb, it was growing out, and then I don't know what obstructed it, but something made it turn around and grow right back. It grew right back into the limb, and then it started coming out this way, coming out that way. But I'll tell you what, I am a nerd when it comes to the way that trees grow and the way they just don't care. They'll just keep growing no matter what. It seems like they are the perfect example of not giving up. They run into a problem, they just keep going and keep doing. So anyway, I'm gonna try to find a different spot for that. Maybe a little lower. I think there's an empty spot right down here. That'll work. So there's the wood. Let's go up front and check on Ranger real quick. He's been doing good. I've heard him get off the mower a couple different times and check for obstacles. Uh-oh, looks like the neighbor's coming to talk to us. Ranger is doing an awesome job. Already looks a lot better. He's getting some experience. I've heard him have to kill the blades a couple times. He hit something he didn't know was there, and that's fine. Things are gonna happen. And he'll learn about sharpening the blades too before too long. So we got finished up. Ranger's first job with the mower, and looks pretty good. Now this is kind of a family job, so I helped him out some too, which I'll help him out here and there when he needs it. But the backyard looks completely different, much better. And the neighbor, what did the neighbor have to say? So the neighbor was checking in and seeing how things were going as far as the remodel, and I told him we were still a ways out, that we'd have a dumpster in before too long, hopefully, and be taking care of that building and doing a few more things. But I was talking to him about Ranger being 13 and learning and needing to learn, and he could tell in my face every time Ranger hit something with the blade, I had a little cringe going on in my face. He said, what did he say? He said, it's kind of hard listening to your motor blades hit something, isn't it? I said, yeah, it is, but how else is anybody gonna learn? So Ranger needs to learn, A, what it's like to mow, but B, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna tear the mower blades off and sharpen them so he can see what it does. But you don't learn, I didn't learn overnight. I made mistakes. I had a process to learn, so does he. Everybody's gotta learn somehow, and I'm his dad, and that's what my job is. So he did a good job though. This was kind of, well, it's gonna be typical of what you get though. Whenever you start mowing something, you don't know where everything's at. Sometimes somebody leaves behind a chunk of wood. The first mow was always the hardest, and it gets better from there. So I did think it was funny that the neighbor could see it on my face, what I was thinking. But like I said, it's part of learning and part of growing, and it's got to happen now because it's now or never. So we're gonna get home. I want to plant some corn today before we get ready to watch Ransom ride tonight. Hoping it's not canceled. We'll see what happens with the rain, but hopefully he gets to ride.
I've been working in these fields, plowing and planting, trying to make good yields. Last year's hailstorm nearly did me in. Not much seed to fill the grain bin. My daddy was a farmer, so I followed in his shoes. Not because I had to, nah, it was something I wanted to do. There's something about the clean air and the smell of fresh dirt, and putting in an honest day of hard work. The debt goes up and the dollar goes down, but every year they put it in the ground. Willing to make that sacrifice, even though they might lose half the price. There's a line of old trucks on Main Street, headed back and forth, their beds filled with wheat. Busiest time of year this town has seen since last fall when the boys were hauling beans. The debt goes up and the dollar goes down, but every year they put it in the ground. Willing to make that sacrifice, even though they might lose half the price.
So I'm back at it, finally gonna plant something in the garden. Today's the day. We are expecting 2 to 3 inches of rain over the next 3 days. Easter weekend, it's not the best time to be getting rain, but guess what? We're not gonna turn down a rain shower. So you can see, let's see, right there, that direction is still just only tilled by the tractor. And then let's go from here over is tilled with a tiller, ready to plant. So if you remember, just a few days ago, I got my tomato cages out right here. So I don't want to plant the exact same thing over and over again in the garden in the same spot. Try to rotate my crops back and forth, different places. So last year I did squash, tomatoes, I may have did okra, I can't remember what all was right here, but my corn was on the other end of the garden. So this year, I'm shifting it. All my corn is gonna be down here. And I am planting, it's called Incredible Sweet Corn. So it's a sweet corn, it's supposed to be good. The Amish highly recommended it. So it might just be me, but I really like straight rows. And how do you make a straight row? Well, with my garden, there is a line and it's the house right over there. So if I can look down that wall, I can see exactly where it's straight. And this started the second row and Ransom made it home. You have a report from school?
Yeah.
How was school?
Good.
Aunt Lucinda's class, were they kids behaving?
Yeah.
Kindergartners?
Pre-K.
Pre-K, 4-year-olds. Ransom said he wants to help plant a little bit of corn. We got to do chores because we have to go get haircuts before we do what tonight?
Ride sheep.
Riding your sheep. So we finally found a rodeo. This one is a weight limit versus the age. So that means Ransom is eligible. So we're going to keep planting. How far apart are you planting them, do you know?
Like 4 inches.
4 inches, good job. Ransom remembered from last year. We do about 3 or 4 inches apart and then we'll thin it out later. Depends how much actually sprouts. We ended up planting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of corn. So I'm gonna go through and kind of cover it up the old-fashioned way. But Ransom said he has a new, better way to cover it up. What's that, Ransom?
With my grater.
With the grater? Time to feed the animals. Cassie, how's your chicks?
Doing good, looking cute.
They still have water and feed?
Yep.
All right, I gave them that this morning, so.
The neighbor texted and she wants some duck eggs if I have any.
I haven't seen any new ones.
She wants to hatch them.
Their ducks are setting on. The turkey, so the ducks were setting on them at one point, and then the turkeys were setting on them.
It changes about every other day, doesn't it?
Yeah, it changes back and forth, so. Come look at what? Babies? Hang on, I got a bucket full of feed. They'll come in a second. Come on. All right, Cassie said come look. What am I looking at?
Go look at the nest. Oh, I found 2 underneath the hay out there.
Okay. I thought there were some babies. I heard some the other day, is there not?
No.
Oh.
I mean, how could you see? Go look and you tell me if there's any babies.
Well, there was 2 turkeys. They're fighting over it. Is that what you want to show me?
And a duck.
Oh yeah, yep. That's what they were doing yesterday, fighting over it. They all think they own this nest. So yesterday it was 2 turkeys. After the duck got up, there was 2 turkeys. So I threw some feed out to see who would stay the course. All of them are staying. They are not even tempted by feed. Again? I just put it in yesterday. They must be ramming it. The ram must be ramming.
So underneath the hay bale, I found these 2 duck eggs.
Okay. Well, you got 2 eggs for her.
You want to see if there's babies?
There's not, I don't think.
You said you heard babies.
I thought I heard some yesterday, but then I looked and there wasn't any. Don't poke the eggs.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, those eggs are getting covered one way or the other. But if any babies ever hatch, they're going to be fought over.
She wasn't even sitting on anything.
Bunch of broody hens. Is that bald spot from the male, probably?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought you had more exciting news for me.
Well, you didn't tell me you've seen all 3 of them sitting on it.
No, they weren't set. All 3 weren't yesterday. That's new. They were. The duck got up, ran over to eat, and the 2 turkeys jumped on the nest.
Yeah.
And then the duck came back and was hissing at him, and it was a whole drama thing. So, well, we didn't bring any food out for Mr. Jingles, and he's finally ran out. So I'm gonna have to go back and grab him some. I'll get you some, just a second. Cassie's low donkeys over here. They don't like to eat together. They have attitude problems. Jake's getting his. Cassie, do you think that Loretta looks pregnant?
I thought she looked pregnant before when she wasn't pregnant.
Oh, okay. I thought she looks a little bit bigger now than she has, but I can't.
So it's hard to tell though. I mean, Benny looks pregnant and he's a boy.
So you're just saying they're well fed? They eat well? Well, what about Jake? Jake looks pregnant.
Jake looks a lot of things.
Jake. She said you stink, Jake. So the cows are doing good. Cassie said that this is the prettiest calf she's ever seen, right, Cassie?
If it's opposite day.
She said that was an ugly calf. So that is Geronimo's and Mary. Mary's the black white-faced cow, but that's what you get from a half Angus, half Highland. They got the shaggy hair, starting to get some horns pop out. Yep, that's what you get. So yes, we did get the alpacas fed. It just took a second. And Cash, when are you gonna start eating, Cash? All right, success. The cows are eating and the alpacas are eating at the same time.
Cash want to get in with us?
Cash, you want to ride?
Or want to race?
He's good, he says.
Ranger got a new baseball glove. He's trying to break it in.
You got a new baseball glove?
Yeah, he thinks he wants to play baseball for the school next year. He's catching with it.
It's time to move the chickens. You've got everybody's towards the front right now, so you can go for it, Cass. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So look at all the manure. Everything is nice and clean underneath them now. Every day they get basically a new flooring every day. Over here's where the two pretty eggs are at, usually. How many of those over there?
7.
7. Usually one of these nests has a deeper green egg. Oh, I don't see it today.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Cassie's throwing eggs.
This one's kind of bluish gray.
Yeah. There's still some pretty colors. Oh, there's one up there.
Ding dong.
It happens. It happens.
Just sitting there and all of a sudden, nope, something came out my rear end.
Sometimes they miss the nest and it rolls around, so. Well, that was a full day on the farm. I'm tired, but now it's time to go see if Ransom makes it in the Mutton Bustin or not. This is kind of his last ride because he finally gets to do it since it's a weight requirement instead of an age requirement. So far, he's been too old. So let's take a look at how he does right now. All right, we have arrived. Cassie, you want to tell everybody what this benefit rodeo is for?
Yeah, it's a ranch rodeo, which is different than your typical rodeo, but a family in our community and at our school, they lost their little boy. He was 4 years old, and so there's been different people do some benefits. There was a baseball tournament and some other things, and then now there's this. So we're here tonight for Ransom to do the Mutton Bustin, but most importantly to support the Barnes family.
It's a good looking seat for Ransom to ride tonight. All right, didn't take Mazzy long. Get on the back of a horse. He's good on the ride. All right, about 10 minutes. You getting ready?
Fairly early on the first day of the week, just after the sunrise, they were on their way to the tomb, and they asked each other, well, who will roll the stone away from the entrance of the tomb? And you see, friends, they said this because the stone was very heavy. It was going to weigh 2,000 to 3,000 pounds. So it was going to weigh a lot more than what they had the ability to move away. But I want you to notice this. Verse 4 says, when they looked up, they saw the stone, which was large, had already been rolled away. And so as they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in white, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. Don't be alarmed, he said. You are looking for Jesus, the Nazarene, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter, he is going ahead in front of you into Galilee, and there you will see him just as he told you. Trembling and bewildered, the women went out and fled from the tomb. They said nothing to anyone because they were afraid. And this, friends, is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So what I found so interesting about this passage is that the women that went to the tomb that morning, they didn't know what they were going to encounter. In fact,
we find peace, knowing that he is now in the arms of Jesus, whole and free, where there is no more pain, only love, light, and laughter. He wasn't a fan of dogs, but he sure loved riding horses with his daddy. We're going to begin with Brooks Barnes, Lindy Bird, and Jagger Bird.
Hang on.
Here we go. Help him out. Come on now. Let's cheer him on. The louder you get, the better they ride. Brooks has a score of 72 points. 72 is the number to beat. Lindy Bird. And here we go with Abigail.
No, you're not starting out on top. Here.
Give her a hand for the effort. Ransom Walker, Pamela Scott, and Kenton Hess are our next three to go.
Go, Ransom!
Good ride. That's a score of
Hey, dig those heels in. Dig those heels tight.
There we go.
Hold on, kick him.
Good ride.
You won! Good
That's a
job!
score of 80 points. Good enough for first place for Ransom Walker. Keep holding. Keep holding.
Yeah, this is too big for me. Wait,
There's
let me
a
get
ride
second.
for you right there.
He got stuck.
Well, you guys, good job to each and every one of you. Concession stand is open. Make your way over, and then we'll get started with our Ranch Rodeo in just a few moments. We'll get the sheep cleared out. Ransom Walker is our first place winner with a score of 80 points. Second place, Lincoln Morton with a score of 79. Third place goes to Brooks Barnes with a score of 72. Congratulations again, all of our Mutton Busters. You guys all did a great job. Thank you.
Turn on.
We'll get that stuff. That water in that cup.
So Ransom came home with first place.
He was pretty excited.
So he did not get his belt buckle tonight. It'll be in the mail. He also won some cash, which he donated back to the family. It was a fundraiser for the family that lost their little boys. So very good that they raised some money. But you guys saw there at the end a ranch rodeo, different than a regular rodeo.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back when we can watch more of it. I found out, so it did start raining and things, but it passed through real quick and they were able to finish it. So I did find that out, so I'm glad they got to finish it. But a ranch rodeo is, they do jobs that you would actually do out in the pasture on a farm or ranch. So need a doctor of cattle and you have horses, you got to rope them and get them down. Well, first, the sorting.
Yeah.
If you need to get some cows out, you got to sort them. Get one to go here, another one go there. Then the doctoring, they had to rope them and get down and doctor them. And then what we missed, they were going to do one more thing. I can't remember what it was.
They were going to do a loadout where they pull a trailer
Yeah, I remember that
out
one,
into
but-
the middle of the arena, and they have to load straight into the trailer without any panels or gates or anything.
Yeah, and then I believe there's one more. Sometimes they do wild cow milking. I don't know if they were doing that last night. I can't remember. But
sometimes they'll take a horse that's never
a
been
wild horse.
That's
Yeah.
never, we saw that in Cheyenne, Wyoming. A
Yeah.
horse that's wild, never been broke, and they have to take 5 or 6 guys, catch it, saddle it, put somebody on it, and they have to ride a circle to qualify.
Yeah, so if you are ever able to go watch a ranch rodeo, I recommend it and highly encourage it because it's real jobs that you do out in the field on a working ranch.
So that was a lot of fun, something different, and Ransom came out of retirement. That was his last ride. Usually these events, Mutton Bustin is an age thing. He's over the age, but luckily he was under the weight limit.
Yeah, so but, when Ranger was little, it was a weight limit. And then when Ransom started doing it, it was an age limit, which I feel like it should be a weight because you can be 6 and weigh 80 pounds or you can be 8 and weigh 50 pounds. So 60 pounds was the cutoff and Ransom's under that, so he was able to do it.
So Ranger got a little bit of experience today too, so that was good for him. This summer, he wants to start doing some more work that we're going to be sharing, or that he wants to share over on his YouTube channel, Ranger's Life. So if you haven't subscribed to Ranger's Life, he plans on posting, but he's a kid. So if he doesn't post for 2 or 3 weeks, it's not a big deal. We just want him, we encourage him to do it as he enjoys it and as he wants to do it.
Starting a channel was all his idea, and we said go for it, but you got to do it yourself. We're not going to do it for you. And like Gary said, he's a kid. Having a YouTube channel and keeping up with the filming and the editing and the uploading and all the things isn't easy, but he's learning it and he enjoys it, and we just let him do it.
Yep, and there won't be any comments over there, so if you want to go subscribe though, he would appreciate it. But as always, we thank you guys for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We hope you have a great day, and God bless.
We love you guys.